Today, I want to discuss how Robinhood is still greatly overexposed to margin call risk and collapse since they haven't learned from their past mistakes. In addition, I would like to discuss what may be the biggest instance of illicit shorting that we have ever witnessed. Lastly, I would like to discuss AMC's annual shareholder meeting plans. So let's go right to the important details. Kristen then tweeted that large banks had lost $250 million as a result of letting BlackBrook, a small company, place a $2.6 billion naked short sell wager with only $144,000 in assets. BlackBrook wagered $2.6 billion against U.S. Treasuries in 2020 prior to RKO's demise. According to Bloomberg, banks permitted Ralph, a trader headquartered in Singapore, to naked short sell domestic government bonds in order to leverage his company's $144,000 in assets by 11,000 times. The European Union and UK Financial Conduct already forbid naked shorting of domestic government bonds, but the banks not only permitted it, but they also gave him 11,000 times the leverage to do so. According to Bloomberg, Krupp and MUFG were among the banks who carried out the wager, which backfired as the market rushed to treasuries due to pandemic concerns. On March 10, 2020, BlackBrook fell. Consequently, Krupp lost $49 million and MUFG lost $63 million. In retrospect, BlackBrook may have been a canary in the coal mine for deeper issues in how banks at the time and still manage counterparty risk, even though it didn't leave a crater like Arcos, which I'll touch on in a moment, he says. I want to describe how these enormous craters actually occur and how a margin call causes banks to lose millions or billions of dollars. Now, I am aware that many of you on this channel have always supported AMC, GameStop, and other alternative investments like cryptocurrency, gold, and silver. The esports market, which is predicted to develop at a 21% compound annual growth rate and reach $9.3 billion globally by 2033, is one extremely rapidly expanding sector that truly sticks out to me. For this reason, I would like to discuss the sponsor of today's video, ESC Entertainment, which trades on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol YENTF. ESC Entertainment has fixed multi-year contracts with some of the biggest names in the industry, including EA Sports, Activision, Blizzard, Epic Games, Ubisoft, and more, with pipelines exceeding $25 million in 2026. For high-impact events, ESC offers a wide range of services, including bespoke set creation, venue selection, logistics, and concept development. Growing Great Canada Gaming to a $3 billion market cap and managing more than $100 million in gaming acquisitions, the management team has more than 25 years of combined experience in the gaming and public finance sectors. By signing contracts with significant conventional sports franchises like the NHL and WBC boxing, ESC is also profiting from the $85 billion traditional sports sector. In the broader sector, EA just went private on a $55 billion deal, giving stockholders a 17% increase over the previous peak price. And ESL, a major ESC client, was just purchased for more than $1 billion on a sevenfold revenue multiple. ESC Entertainment is relatively undervalued from a revenue multiple perspective, suggesting only a 0.3 times revenue to market cap multiple when compared to other market participants like Overactive Media, which has a $39 million Canadian market cap, GameSquare Holdings, which has a $130 million Canadian market cap, and ESL, which I previously mentioned. Therefore, look for ESC Entertainment on the OTC market today using the ticker symbol ENF. I want to explain how these enormous craters truly occur and how a margin call causes banks to lose millions or billions of dollars. Thus, it all comes down to flexibility or leeway. We don't have any discretion or wiggle room when we trade on a trading platform, such as Robinhood, Webull, Moomoo, Charles Schwab, or Fidelity. The trading platform margin will call us and immediately liquidate our holdings if we lose 100% of our account while trading on margin. Smaller hedge funds, such as BlackBrook, might have some leeway in meeting their margin call by the end of the day or the end of the week. Selling their position might not have a significant negative impact on the market as a whole, thus the bank might not suffer significant losses. However, larger hedge funds like RKO's, with a $10 billion outflow, might have more flexibility. They might have a few days, a week, or even longer to attempt to resolve their margin call issue. Like Robinhood did in 2021, they might have some time to try and secure outside funding from investors to cover the margin call. For instance, Citadel may receive investments totaling hundreds of millions or billions of dollars from other hedge funds, such as Sequoia Capital or Paradigm, in order to satisfy margin obligations. The market as a whole is typically severely harmed if they are unable to achieve those margin requirements, and the bank is forced to sell positions. The stock may plummet by 50% if they are closing long positions. Additionally, the stock may double, triple, quadruple, 10x, or even more if short positions are being forced to be liquidated. When these banks are margin calling clients, margin calling hedge funds, margin calling institutions, or anybody else, they end up losing millions, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, because the broader market is also affected. And let's discuss what occurred to Robinhood earlier this week to show you how true that is even now. The GameStop stock warranty day and the enormous spike in AMD stock that you may have seen occurred on Monday. How much do you want to bet this is a January 2021 moment all over again? Boss Buns tweeted. Because Robinhood is either having another huge margin call from the NSC or is unable to obtain adequate warrants. In case you were unaware, on Monday they did more than simply take away the buy button. They also prevented anyone from logging in for between 30 and 60 minutes after the market opened. During that period, AMD dropped from roughly $226 per share to lows of $26, losing tens of thousands of percentage points on call options, but roughly 10% on the stock price. That clearly resembles what transpired at GameStop and AMC, when we witnessed rapid price increases in these organizations and trading platforms disabled the buy button. The NSCC collateral requirements, which I believe are fully detailed in this Reddit thread, are the reason why the stock price declined. It simply states that before the trade settles, the NSC has $30 per share credit exposure, or around $60 per share in AMD's instance. If your customers purchase IBM at $140 per share, and it goes to $110 per share, or they purchase AMD at $165, and it goes to $226. The amount that each trading platform and institution is required to provide to the NSCC each morning is increased by that sum. Now, the amount of collateral required to be posted to the NSC increases dramatically when a large number of investors and users own a single stock and there is a significant price movement in that stock. Naturally, a lot of people owned AMC and GameStop between January and June of 2021, and there were significant price fluctuations. As a result, Robinhood was forced to post an absurd amount of collateral, such as an additional $3 billion, for which they lacked the funds. Among other dubious activities that took place behind closed doors, they turned off the buy button to lower the price in a hasty attempt to minimize collateral. As of right now in 2025, AMD is owned by every single person. Why? Because the stock of an AI chip is building a huge bull flag and is poised to reach new highs, similar to what NVIDIA has been doing. When they recently announced a partnership connected to OpenAI, a significant portion of their platform held AMD, which caused the price to soar to new highs of almost 40% in a single day. What then did Robinhood do? You guessed it. In order to prevent consumers from purchasing further AMD shares, exercising their call options, and hoping that the stock price would decline, they not only disabled the buy button, but also completely prevented users from logging in. The fact that they had to do that probably indicates to me that Robinhood hasn't learned from their past mistakes, doesn't have enough cash on hand to satisfy NSC collateral calls or margin requirements, and nearly collapsed once more, and would have if they hadn't shut down their platform. Let's now discuss AMC's recommendations for the annual shareholder meeting. In particular, Proposition 5 calls for raising AMC's authorized share capital from 550 million to 1.1 billion shares. Now, rather than deliberately diluting shareholders, AMC intends to do this primarily to pay off debt. Actually, only 66 to 122 million shares will be set aside for dilution. The remaining shares will be utilized to settle debt. In particular, let's discuss how much money AMC would save and increase its bottom line by paying off debt. In order to pay down $1.65 billion of AMC's debt, an additional 550 million shares, or roughly $3 per share, will be distributed to debt holders as part of the rise from 550 million shares to 1.1 billion shares. AMC currently has corporate loans of about $3.9 billion. It would significantly reduce that figure